Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Mean Jeanne. Florida reels from storm number 4 of a hurricane season that's far from over. Ahead of the presidential face-off, an advanced look at the debaters' strategy. The new artificial blood that's proving a lifesaver. And modern homesteaders reclaiming a piece of the American heartland.
This is the CBS Evening News with John Roberts.
And good evening. 4 hurricanes in 6 weeks, the most intense season in memory in Florida. The latest hurricane, Jeanne, stormed ashore early this morning just north of West Palm Beach with winds of up to 120 miles an hour. It's the same area that was battered by Hurricane Francis just 3 weeks ago. At least 5 people have died in Jeanne's march across the Sunshine State. Sharon Alfonsi begins our coverage tonight from Vero Beach.
Hurricane Jeanne proved to be a noisy and nasty tourist, howling well into the morning with winds upwards of 115 miles an hour. Daylight revealed she had trashed much of Florida, leaving tossed homes and twisted power lines up and down the Atlantic coast. Traffic lights have become obstacle courses. Jeanne just won't stop.
Last night was a nightmare. I thought it would never end. We hear big bangs. I thought, how long is this going to go on?
And Gloria Bardo says she moved here from Manhattan because it was quiet. Mobile home parks throughout Florida suffered the most damage again. Wind cut through thousands of homes. Water finished off hundreds more.
That's when covered me.
But the damage didn't end there. Restaurants were unwillingly renovated to include patio seating. Business walls were blown out, the shelves left untouched. Jeanne followed Francis's path of destruction.
Very bizarrely, the latitude and the longitude of the landfall was identical for both Francis and for Jeanne. That's never happened before.
800,000 people across Florida are still without electricity. And despite the best efforts of cleanup crews, state officials say it could be 3 weeks before the power is fully restored. Gloria Bardo won't be here to see it.
I'm packing up my things I don't know where I'm going, but I'm not going to be in Florida.
This is too much.
Too much.
And she's not alone. Even as this storm passes, others are packing up and heading north. This time, they say, for good. John?
Sharon Alfonsi reporting for us tonight from Vero Beach, Florida. Sharon, thanks. Hurricane Jeanne marks a milestone in Florida. Never before has it been hit by 4 hurricanes in 1 year. And as Lee Cowan reports, all those dizzying winds have left Floridians more than a little disoriented.
Florida residents have a skewed outlook on statistics these days. Forget lightning striking twice. Hurricanes are hitting here with the frequency of a paycheck.
Everything's been hunky-dory till this year, and everything's gone to pot.
They read like a who's who of destruction. Charlie, Francis, Ivan, and now Jeanne. Central Florida is running out of patience just as fast as it's filling up with water. As bad as the winds were along the coast, they were less significant inland, like here just west of Orlando, but the biggest threat continued to be the flooding. The ground is so saturated here, there's simply no place for the water to go. Insurance companies are spinning, torn between ruling each hurricane a separate event or lumping them together, saving victims costly deductibles.
It's awful. It really is. I mean, so many homes are destroyed and people are having to rebuild their whole lives.
Take 86-year-old George Henderson. We found him looking stunned, sitting in the middle of his living room, the one without the roof.
It stood everything until this.
Cold showers for us again.
Cold shower. We don't have no water to make cold showers with.
That's becoming a familiar refrain for Carol Blanchard and her water-weary neighbors.
Mother's going to do what Mother Nature is going to do.
Some of whom are starting to ask one pretty obvious question.
I moved here 3 months ago. Now I'm riding out 4 hurricanes. Why'd I move to Florida?
Of course, it's not just Florida. Every single one of these storms has left, only to drop record amounts of rain in Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, all the way up the East Coast. And that's the same waterlogged path that Jeanne is about to take over the next couple of days. John?
Lee Cowan reporting for us tonight live from Florida. Lee, thanks. A leader of the Palestinian militant group Hamas was killed in Damascus today when his car exploded. Israeli security sources said Israel was responsible. If so, it is only the second time in 30 years that the Israelis have struck inside Syria, as David Hawkins reports.
The assassin's bomb was hidden under the driver's seat. It detonated when the target started the SUV's engine outside his Damascus home. He was Izzeddin al-Sheikh Khalil, a 42-year-old Palestinian and a leader of Hamas based in Syria. Hamas immediately blamed the assassination on Israel, which expelled Khalil from Gaza in 1992. Earlier this year, Israel killed Hamas's spiritual leader, Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, and his successor. Israel has assassinated dozens of Palestinian militants in the West Bank and Gaza during the last 4 years in what the Israeli government calls targeted killings. After a twin terror attack on 2 buses in the southern Israeli city of Beersheba last month, Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon and his military chief of staff pointed their fingers at Damascus and vowed that they'd take revenge against Hamas leaders there.
It's a very strong message to Hamas leadership in Damascus that Israel means business. And I think this is a strategic signal to Syria as well, not only to Hamas leadership.
In response to American pressure and Israeli threats, Syria says it's already shut down the offices of Palestinian groups in Damascus. Israeli officials are skeptical about that. And while they aren't saying publicly that they were behind today's assassination, unnamed security sources here say that they are. David Hawkins, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
A Muslim activist in London claims British hostage Kenneth Bigley is still alive. Bigley was kidnapped 10 days ago in Iraq along with 2 Americans who were later beheaded. Well, after months of talking about each other on the campaign trail, President Bush and Senator John Kerry will finally share the same stage this week. Byron Pitts looks ahead to their Thursday face-off in Miami in the first of 3 primetime presidential debates.
Gasoline prices are up 31%.
Experts say with Kerry trailing in the polls, the pressure will be on the challenger to score points against the more popular incumbent.
He's got to reassure the voters about himself. He's got to distinguish his positions from the president.
Senator Kerry offered a public preview of his likely lines of attack in a pair of foreign policy speeches last week.
Instead of bringing the world together against the terrorists, the president alienated the countries whose help we need to defeat them. That was the wrong choice.
And what will the president's debate strategy be?
He loves to contrast his positions with his opponent, and he does that very advantageously.
My opponent said he would prefer the dictatorship of Saddam Hussein to the situation in Iraq today.
The format for the debate has been negotiated in painstaking detail by the campaigns. Both candidates will speak from behind podiums. Bush and Kerry will not be permitted to question each other, and each candidate will make a 2-minute closing statement. Both men will spend the bulk of their time over the next several days preparing for Thursday night's debate. President Bush from his ranch in Texas, Senator Kerry at a resort in Wisconsin. After a weekend of rest at his home here in Boston, it is John Kerry who perhaps has the most to prove and the most to lose. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Boston.
Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, more on the debates, plus the life-saving blood substitute that's fueling a full-blooded debate.
Research shows that kids whose parents regularly talk to them about not smoking are less likely to smoke. The Parent Resource Center at philipmorrisusa.com offers advice from experts on talking to kids about not smoking, including downloadable brochures on starting the conversation and helping kids handle peer pressure. For more information, call us or visit philipmorrisusa.com.
Enjoy with your family, gonna serve it up with grilled cheese, Campbell's tomato soup, possibilities. Sit back, relax, kick back, a mug of soup makes a perfect snack. Campbell's tomato soup, possibilities. With shredded cheese, sour cream, taco chips, that's how the kids like it. Campbell's tomato soup, possibilities.
OnStar Emergency. This is Sharonda.
I've had a major collision.
I'll be contacting emergency services for you.
Okay, thank you.
Provincial Dispatch. Hi, this is Sharonda calling from OnStar. I'm calling to report a vehicle crash with airbag deployment. I do have the occupant on the line. What happened, sir?
I'm not sure. I'm just a little bit dazed at the moment. I'm trapped in my car.
Okay, we'll get somebody out there. Would you like for me to remain on the line until emergency services arrive?
Probably would be a good idea.
OnStar is available on 51 GM models.
Got gas, pressure, bloating? Tums doesn't treat gas, neither does Pepto-Bismol. To treat gas, use Gas-X for fast, powerful relief.
Popcorn? Ooh.
Gas-X beats the bloat, and acids don't.
The heart protection study conducted by Oxford University is here. If you've had a heart attack or have diabetes, get information from Merck about treatment options at heartprotectionstudy.com.
Introducing the ultimate buttery spread, new Smart Balance Omega Plus, with natural plant sterols and omega-3 from the sea to help promote healthy cholesterol and triglyceride levels. Omega Plus contains no hydrogenated oil and no trans fatty acids, with a right balance of fats for smart eating, plus a delicious buttery taste. Try the ultimate buttery spread, new Smart Balance Omega Plus.
Imagine a spa treatment with soothing vanilla and relaxing lavender for your mind, your body, and now, your clothes. Introducing Downy Simple Pleasures, a fabric softener with natural essences like vanilla and lavender. Can a scent change your mood? Try one and see. New Downy Simple Pleasures. Look for it soon.
The first field test outside hospitals of a promising artificial blood is underway in 10 cities across the country. Kelly Kobiella tells us the testing comes with a heavy dose of controversy.
Ambulances around San Diego are stocked with emergency medicine's version of the Holy Grail.
We carry 6 bags of this. Kind of looks like blood.
Looks like blood, but more importantly, acts like blood. It's called polyheme, a blood substitute deemed so promising, the FDA has given the green light to an unusual study, allowing the product to be tested in the field, at accidents, shootings, any case where a person has lost a lot of blood. Ambulances don't normally carry real blood because it spoils easily. Instead, they use intravenous saline solution. It restores blood pressure, but it doesn't carry life-saving oxygen. Polyheme does, and doctors say that can make all the difference.
It immediately carries oxygen. We've had patients that have essentially had none of their own blood and been sustained, had their life sustained and saved from this.
Just a few aches and pains, yes.
Greg Rowenfeld is one of them.
There's a very, very good chance that that product saved my life.
But despite its promise, critics say the polyheme study is unethical because the patients may not be aware enough to give their consent.
I don't want to be a guinea pig for something that they don't know enough about.
Cheryl Mercer was alarmed when she heard about the study on TV. She requested a bracelet which excludes her from the study. She says hospitals are not doing a good enough job of educating the community.
I think if you went outside and asked 20 people, you might be lucky if you got one who knew what you were talking about.
The FDA does require public meetings to be held on the polyheme study, but few people have attended. And while the health community concedes there's no way to reach everyone, doctors insist they're not putting scientific research ahead of public health.
I don't think that there's anything that we do as safely as when we conduct human research.
Testing on this new product will take years to complete, but for emergency medicine, hopes are high. Kelly Kobiella, CBS News, San Diego.
A Greek airliner bound for New York City diverted to London today under fighter escort following a bomb threat that mentioned Iraq. More than 300 passengers and crew on board the Olympic Airlines plane were evacuated. No bomb has been found. Just ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, a debate preview with Vice Presidential candidate John Edwards and White House spokesman Dan Bartlett.
Breakfast in bed.
It's just you, me, and the cornflakes.
You'd have to eat 4 bowls of cornflakes to get the B vitamins in 1 bowl of total.
Sweetie, how about the Raisin Bran?
You'd need 6 bowls to match the zinc in total.
Glad we went with the queen size.
Special K.
40 bowls to match Total's calcium.
Isn't that the coffee table?
Whole grain Total's got 100% daily value of 12 vitamins and minerals. No other leading cereal comes close.
I'll have the Total.
Total Raisin Bran. One bowl, 100%.
Cutting down on carbs, huh?
Yeah.
You know, you could be cutting down on fiber, too. But with these Metamucil capsules, you can get more of your daily fiber with zero net carbs.
Wow.
Cutting carbs? Keep the fiber with Metamucil capsules.
So I'm wondering, what's a Thermacare heat wrap? Then I put it on my aching back and I realized, oh, it's like a heating pad without a cord. And my pain just melts away. Yes, I feel like I could do backflips. No.
Oh, Capital One.
Check your mail for the Capital One No Hassle Island giveaway. Look inside and see if you've instantly won your own private island or one of hundreds of island getaways.
What's in your wallet?
So, what's the weekend hold in store for you? Ask your doctor if a free sample of prescription Cialis is right for you. Cialis. Are you ready?
Got gas, pressure, bloating? Tums doesn't treat gas, neither does Pepto-Bismol. To treat gas, use Gas X for fast, powerful relief.
Popcorn?
Gas X beats the bloat, and acids don't.
Hi, I'm Keith Hernandez.
And I'm Walt Clyde Frazier.
What a marvelous night for the action.
Let's go to the play-by-play.
Oh, there's Mr. Graybeard approaching Miss Hottie. Oh, no.
Rejected.
Clyde, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, no play for Mr. Gray. Get that man our Just for Men Brush In Color Gel.
It's specially formulated to penetrate coarse facial hair and gets rid of gray in 5 easy minutes.
Gets rid of strikeouts, too. Just for Men Gel. The Rejuvenator.
What do you get when Mike Wallace takes on Bill O'Reilly? 2 tigers in the same cage.
You don't point at Mike.
The season premiere of 60 Minutes, tonight.
This week, when Dwayne and Penny Dyer had quadruplets, they had one big wish. Wait until you see how we surprised them when we made that dream come true on the fastest-growing network morning news program, The Early Show.
Just 4 days now remain until President Bush and Senator John Kerry meet in their first campaign debate. By way of a preview, we spoke separately earlier today with key members of the two competing camps. Democratic vice presidential candidate John Edwards starts off tonight's Sunday cover with a look at what John Kerry needs to do on Thursday.
Well, the first thing he needs to do is tell the truth about what George Bush and Dick Cheney have done. I mean, George Bush and Dick Cheney were against the Department of Homeland Security. Now they're for it. They were against a 9/11 commission to determine why 9/11 happened and make recommendations about how to stop it. They were against it. And then, finally, they were dragged kicking and screaming to being for it. So on issue after issue, they've been for it, for one side, and then ended up taking the other side.
So are you suggesting one of the things that he is going to do at next Thursday's debate is to take that pair of flip-flops and try to put them on George Bush's feet?
Well, they're there. I mean, people need to hear it. Voters need to know it. But these are the facts. I mean, what I just went through are absolutely true facts.
Why would John Kerry's plan be any better at solving the problems in Iraq than what President Bush is doing?
Very simple. George Bush and Dick Cheney created this mess. They can't fix it. It was George Bush who was dismissive of our potential allies before going into Iraq. It was George Bush who has not brought other countries into the reconstruction effort.
But isn't there the real possibility that they'll be happy to send construction workers and engineers and people to help out with the elections and forming a government, but they're still not going to send any troops, which under the Kerry plan would suggest are needed?
Here's what I know. I know that George Bush has not done it. I know that George Bush cannot do it. I know that John Kerry and I have a different approach, and I know that we will get them involved in every possible way.
One thing I have noticed in recent days is that the Kerry-Edwards campaign seems to be much quicker to jump on attacks from the Bush-Cheney side. Was there a sense at the campaign where you said, we're getting hammered here, we've got to fight back, and that's what we're seeing out there?
No, we are going to fight for our country. We are not going to let them lie about John Kerry. We're not going to let them say things to people that are not true about what's happened during the time that they've been in office. We're not going to let them try to mislead people about what's happening in Iraq right now. The American people deserve to know the truth. We're going to make sure that they know the truth, because for us, this is a fight for America and a fight for the future of America.
Senator Edwards, good to speak with you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, John.
Now, for the Republican view, we turn to White House Communications Director Dan Bartlett. I began by asking him about the Democratic ticket's attacks on President Bush's policy toward Iraq.
Senator Kerry, over the last 17 months, has taken about 10 different positions on the issue of Iraq. President Bush, on the other hand, has been very consistent, very clear about how he's prosecuting this war and how we're going to prevail. And that's a clear difference in this campaign. One has a strategy of, we believe, of defeat based on the policies of John Kerry. And we have a policy and a strategy of victory that President Bush will articulate on Thursday night.
When you talk about Kerry having a strategy of defeat, what has he articulated that would lead you to say that?
When one day he stands up and says that he was for the war, other days he stands up and says that it was a colossal mistake, other days he comes back and says we did the right thing. Shifting all over the lot on such a critical issue sends the wrong signal.
Colin Powell said this morning, and let me just quote him here, that anti-American sentiment in the Arab world is growing and the insurgency is worsening. So what are you going to do to make the situation on the ground better before the scheduled January elections?
We're going to work with the new Iraqi government to give them the training they need to help fight these terrorists and insurgents in their country. Everybody recognizes that the stakes are high in Iraq. The enemy knows that better than anyone, that their effort, their attempt is to try to derail these very elections that are taking place in January. And it's critically important that we have a strategy of working with the Iraqi people, giving them the tools they need, working hand in hand with the multinational coalition to defeat the terrorists there, so we're not facing them here at home or in other free countries around the world.
In an interview that will be broadcast soon, the president said if he had it to do all over again, he would again put the flight suit on and land aboard the USS Lincoln. Is that something, as one of the people who's involved in the president's image, you would suggest he did again if he had the chance?
Absolutely. He stood underneath that banner, and he stood behind the troops in harm's way every step of the way.
Would you have said to the crew of the Lincoln, hey, like the banner, great idea, or would you have said, we might want to reconsider that?
That crew had accomplished its mission, and it was important to praise them for the mission they had accomplished. If you listen to what the president said to the country, it was that we have difficult work remains in Iraq, and we're going to stay there to get the job done.
Dan Bartlett, good to talk to you. Good luck on the campaign trail.
You too, John. Take care.
Although the two campaigns have agreed to a complex series of ground rules for the upcoming debates, the commission that's hosting them has not yet signed off on those terms. Senator Edwards told us today that he is confident the debates will take place. Dan Bartlett said he's hopeful. We'll be right back.
Now there's a non-drowsy medicine that lets you breathe again. Alivert Allergy and Sinus relieves sinus pressure, runny nose, and nasal congestion. Breathe again. With Alivert Allergy and Sinus, the right relief, wherever you are.
When you're passionate about something, you never quit. Your multivitamin, Centrum Silver with lycopene, an ingredient in tomatoes that science suggests may help reduce the risk of heart disease. Put your heart into what you love. Centrum Silver with lycopene.
Bladder Control Products just got some fresh thinking. Introducing the new look of Serenity. With a fresh white top sheet to quickly pull liquid into the pad and help keep you dry. High-rising, soft sides. And now with Odasor Plus to help prevent odors. New Serenity Extra, Extra Plus, and Ultra. Designed to leave you feeling fresh as a, well, you know.
Let's talk about better. When someone says something's better, it's usually just their opinion. So if you suffer from acid reflux disease, frequent heartburn, and I told you prescription Nexium heals acid-related damage in the esophagus better, you'd want proof. And now, your doctor has that proof.
Recent medical studies prove Nexium heals that damage better than the other leading prescription medicine. No wonder they call Nexium the healing purple pill. So call your doctor today and ask if Nexium is right for you. Because if left untreated, the damage could get worse. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Hey, with Nexium, you don't just feel better, you are better. And better is better.
The heart protection study conducted by Oxford University is here. If you've had a heart attack or have diabetes, Get information from Merck about treatment options at heartprotectionstudy.com.
Imagine a dental plan that adds splash to your smile. Crest Spin Brush Pro Whitening. 2 moving heads and polishing bristles clean away stains for whiter teeth in 14 days. Guaranteed.
Have you heard the buzz about True Blend? Try it once, you'll want to tell a friend.
True Blend. True Blend.
Skin matching pigments cover so perfectly yet so naturally, you don't know where your makeup ends, but you do know you gotta tell your friends. True Blend makeup from CoverGirl.
Stephen has struggled with epilepsy for over 10 years. An experimental new device may help him, and he's ready.
What do I have to lose? I don't have anything to lose.
Call it a pacemaker for the brain. We'll show you how doctors hope it will work to control his symptoms in our Health Watch report, Monday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Over the past 50 years, the Great Plains have been draining people. Rural counties in the Plains states have lost a third of their populations. Serena Altschul found one town that's trying to buck the trend with old-fashioned homesteading.
Marquette, Kansas is the kind of small town some people dream of living in.
They take a lot of care and pride in this town, and that's one of the neat things about it.
But Marquette's really small, only about 600 or so people, and that's its problem, not enough kids. In fact, about a year ago, they thought they might have to close the town's only school. Grocer Steve Piper is also the mayor.
The thing about the school is it's the very backbone of the town. Without it, you're going to see a dwindling population. People aren't going to move to town if there's not a school there.
So Marquette came up with a new twist on an old Kansas idea, homesteading, offer free land to people to build new homes on. But they had no idea how many would come.
Are you the Allens? How are you doing? Nice to meet you. Iris?
Iris Allen and her son have just arrived from Alaska. It's the first time they've set foot in Kansas.
We had about 1,000 inquiries about our 3 lots, and we have 80 new families going to be moving to Marquette in the next year.
Artist Rich Thibodeau moved here from Santa Fe to be closer to his daughter.
The mayor approached me and he said, I think I know of a place that's available. And that's how I ended up with this building. And it's glorious because I can work as big as I wish.
You're in the kitchen, cabinets through here.
Russ Harm's wife is from Marquette. They were living in Wichita, but decided to move back when they heard about the free land.
I'm building what I hope turns out to be a beautiful home, and I plan on this being the last home I ever live in.
So many families are moving here now that the town has set aside a second field of dreams.
People are nice. It's not overcrowded. It's a good feeling. It's safe.
Marquette's plan is working. This year, because of families like the Allens, grade school enrollment is up from 120 kids to 145.
We're making some dreams come true for people, and it's a good feeling. This was my old grocery store.
So if you're ever in the neighborhood, stop by. You just might stay a while. Serena Altschul, CBS News, Marquette, Kansas.
And that's the CBS Evening News for this Sunday. Later on CBS 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace talks to Bill O'Reilly, guaranteed to set your television set on fire. Tomorrow on the early show, the latest on Tropical Storm Jeanne. I'm John Roberts in New York. Thanks for choosing CBS News. Have a good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart, bringing your community jobs, low prices, and support for neighborhood programs. CBS News.
It's the 4th hurricane to hammer the state in the last 6 weeks. Already at least 3 deaths in Florida are being blamed on Jeanne. And a tough loss for the Tennessee Titans. We'll have highlights from the game and the tailgaters. The news is now.
From your news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamie Reese. The Tennessee Titans lost in a nail-biter at the Coliseum. News Channel 5's Eric Yetzi was at the game. And Eric, a tough loss, but also Steve McNair was hurt towards the end of the game. Have you heard how he's doing?
Well, we haven't really gotten an official update. What we know is that he has a bruised sternum. Steve did not meet with the media after the game in the press conference, so we really don't have a up-to-the-minute update on that. But you see the final play of the game. It was Billy Volek, not Steve McNair, who made that final play. So take a look. Now, here is the play that put the Titans up in the fourth quarter, 12-6. Chris Brown, 26-yard run. They'd miss the two-point conversion. Then a costly pass interference penalty puts the ball at the 1. 13 seconds to go. Fred Taylor seals the deal. 15-12.